Well, hello, classmates, and welcome to the end of week 4. Halfway through this class. I can't believe it. We're almost there, guys. All right, so the book that I chose to read is Sabretooth Curriculum, and this presentation is given by me, Cheryl Hayes, and little spoiler alert, that's about as creative as this presentation is going to get, because unfortunately, I just barely graduated from drawing a stick figure character to actually making it look like a real person. So no more creativity, sorry. All right, so let's dive right in. So I was really surprised at how much this book really compared to what we're learning in class. So I wanted to start with kind of the main focus of what I am getting from this class is backwards design. Okay, so in the book, we read about a tribe, and there is a main character, and he is referred to as Newfist. And what he needed to do was he needed to figure out what result he wanted for the children of the tribe in order to keep that tribe going. So he needed to set a goal, which was having more food to eat, having more skins to keep them warm, having better caves to sleep in, and less danger in their environment. So he needed to figure out how he was going to do this. How could he keep them warm? How could they keep themselves warm? Keep their own bellies full, and keep their minds free of fear. So he needed to figure out how he can teach children to do this. And that is by practicing hands-on learning. So the children, they began with grabbing fish with their bare hands. They were clubbing woolly horses for food, and they were scaring tigers with fire to keep themselves safe. So what this eventually leads to is the children experimenting with new ways to catch food. So they began to make fish nets. They began to use vines to catch antelope and dig deep pits to trap the bears. So I also just kind of wanted to touch base on another resource from this class, which was amazing, the history of curriculum in America. So I focused on the first video. So in the beginning of education, the main reason was to teach children how to read and write in order to attend Bible study. It wasn't to get them to gain knowledge. Eventually, a couple guys came around, Horace Mann and Henry Barnard, and they had a new system that they wanted to put into place. And this is kind of just like what Newfist decided to do in the book, the other book. So these guys, they created new guidelines for the education systems. They were organized differently. It depended on how many families were in the district. Teachers had to be licensed, full-time administrators. Students were organized differently into grades by their ages. Curriculum was standardized, and the content of curriculum had to be the same in schools, which is kind of like what they're have been trying to do with Common Core, right? So in the book Sabretooth Curriculum, the teachers, they carried around this bone, and in the bone it was carved like how many credits they had. So if they had 15 credits, they could teach elementary school. 20 to 25, they could teach secondary, and then from there they could go on and eventually teach college level courses. All right, so another resource from this class that I got a lot out of was novices and experts. So isn't that kind of what we are trying to do? We're trying to teach our students to become experts, and not just like experts on one subject, right? We're trying to teach them the skills that they need through inquiry and hands-on learning so that they can become experts in life. So after a student has obtained real-life experience, they can recognize patterns, repetitive features, and they can base this on prior experiences. Then the student develops further, and now they can react to situations on their own. They're intuitive, they can elicit appropriate responses, and be successful. So how can we apply any of this content into the real world? Well, 21st century skills, right? The 5 C's. Critical thinking, problem solving, creativity and innovation, citizenship, both global and local, collaboration, and communication. So in the book we saw students were taught skills: tiger scaring with fire, fish grabbing, and woolly horse clubbing. And these were essential for their survival as well as the survival of their tribe. And these were imperative skills that helped them in those times. So today, Common Core, if we can figure out how to really implement that correctly into our schools, we can teach our students this day and age what they need to survive in our time, in our society. So one way that I kind of came up with on how this can actually be put into a classroom is through learning centers. Okay, so learning centers, also called learning stations, you kind of have different learning stations with different activities, right? So station 1, literacy through inquiry. So as a class, students would watch a video on catching a fish. Oh, so this is kind of based out of the content of the Sabertooth curriculum. So they'll watch a video on catching a fish, right? So then they'll also develop a question that they want to answer. It can be about catching fish, clubbing woolly horses, or scaring a tiger with fire. Anything that will help their tribe to survive. So then students would begin to research, right, to answer their question. So another learning station could be creativity. They'll choose from a variety of ways to present their findings, right? They can write a poem about catching fish. They can create a poster on how to club a woolly horse. Create a graphic design about how to scare tigers. So another station could be a teacher desk station, right, where students can come and the teacher can help to guide them, not to give them answers, but to guide them, help them, give examples, and put them in possession of helpful resources. And then, of course, it's very important for reflection. So the reflection centers, students would write a reflection of their experiences, and then as teachers can kind of use it as a formative assessment to reflect, make necessary changes and adjustments to support the students. So reasons why educators should read this book. We learn from our past, right? So we can look at failures from past curriculum design and make changes and develop what can help our students now. So we can meet students where they're at, both ability and in current times. This can help them to be successful in real life. It's funny. I giggled a lot. Gives insight on the field curriculum design, and it shows us how important project-based and performance-based tasks are in learning. It's also affordable. I put the prices here. So Amazon, you can range from $8.99 to $15 depending on what your desired materials are. And right now they have a coupon, so you can save anywhere from $1 to $2.80 depending on the route that you decide to go. So overall, while I have the reference page up, overall this book was entertaining, it was knowledgeable, and it gave a lot of insight to what we have been learning so far in this class. And it just kind of really reiterated and reaffirmed how important what we're learning in EDU 609 is. So I hope you guys enjoyed and have a wonderful rest of this week and rest of the 4 weeks in this class.